Okay. Now, I have uploaded the class participation, and also another one is the assignment. Okay, I have uploaded the assignment, group assignment here. Okay, so you can actually view the assignment, group assignment. Okay, I'm going to show you. So this is your group assignment. Okay, now so for group assignment, what you need to do is you're supposed to plot the graph using the Microsoft Excel. Okay, so after you plot the graph here, this graph, then you need to, the graph must consist of title. Okay, title. It must consist of the equation, the origin. Okay, now, do you know what is origin? Okay, I think title you know, right? Title of the graph you know, equation of the graph you know. What is the origin? Yushan, what is origin?
The 0 point on the graph.
Okay, very good. Okay, the 0 point. Yeah? So the asymptote, okay, asymptotes, okay, the intercepts, and you must label the y-axis and the x-axis. We call the axis. So after that, you need to state the domain and range. Remember domain and range we discussed on last Wednesday, right? Or domain and range. Okay, so you need to state. Okay, after that, question B, all right, for each question here, 1, 2, 3, 4, for each question, you need to relate the equation here, okay, with fx, gx, or hx. Okay, one of this. All right, after that, of course, you state the domain and range, just like the first one. Okay, so now question C, you need to describe the transformation of graph. Now this part, we are going to do the lecture on Wednesday. So after Wednesday, you should be able to know what is transformation of graph. Okay, so you use, by using the help of graphs, right? Then you describe the transformation. Now I have given the example here. For example, so this is the equation. Okay, so this is the equation. So for this equation, okay, first we need to plot the graph, then you use the Excel, you come up with your table, you plot the graph. Okay, so for this graph, okay, what do you need to label? What must you have in the graph? You must have, okay, hold on. Let me highlight to you just a moment. Okay, you must have this one. Okay. Okay, you must have the label the x-axis and the y-axis. You must have this, you must label. Okay. All right. So what else? Now you must. Okay, you must have the origin. This one you must label. Okay. You must have the asymptote, if any. Okay, so you must draw the asymptote. Okay, so what is this asymptote? This is horizontal asymptote, right? horizontal, asymptote. Okay, and the red color, can you see the red color here? The red color line? Can you? Can you see the red color line? Okay, the red color line here is the vertical asymptote. Okay, you must draw this line, vertical asymptote. Okay, now you must have the title. And if there is intercept, okay, or if there are intercepts, you must draw the intercept as well. You must label the intercept as well. Okay, is there any intercept here for this graph? Any intercept? No, okay, no intercept, right? Do you still remember what is intercept, student? Intercept is, let's say my graph, if my graph like this is the intercept, okay? So this one is the intercept. Now, if my graph involves this, then I have to show. Okay, I have to show this point. This is the intercept. Now, is that okay, student? Is that okay, student? All right. Now, any question here? Okay. Now, so then, now for this graph, because I only have one graph, so I do not lay. I just put my equation here. Okay, so this is my equation. I do not have to write my equation. Okay. Now, however, question B. Now, the question B here, I need to relate to the function. Now, refer to the function here. This is fx, right? 1 over x is fx. So, compared to this one, this is actually fx plus 2. Right? So, when I relate this function with fx, I will just put fx plus 2. So I state the domain, I state the range. Okay, now how to find the domain? Now from here we know that domain, we are going to refer the, okay, we are going to refer the domain as the x, right? So to find the domain, okay, from the graph here, okay, we are going to put down here, okay. All right, so, and this one, here we draw the line to the x. Okay, from the graph, we draw the line to the x-axis. Now we can see the x can be any value. So we say the x can be any value. X is real, but x cannot be one value. What is that? What is that? Are you with me, student? What is that? The x cannot be 0. Good. So the x cannot be 0. X cannot be here. This point, when the x is 0, we got no graph. All right, no graph here. All right, so this is the asymptote. Okay, this line is actually x equals to 0. It's the vertical asymptote. Okay, so then, all right, the domain will be like this. This is the domain. So you can see, all right, we actually write the domain. And the range, all right, the y can be any value. You draw the straight line from the graph. You draw the line to the y-axis. you see, okay, you find the domain of range of y. So the y can be any value except y is 2. Now, of course, you can follow the lecture. All right, follow the lecture, we have calculation to find the asymptote, right? So you can use that calculation as well. Okay, so now use the calculation to find the asymptote, then you can find the range. Okay, now question C. So with the help of the graph, we describe the transformation. Now, so what do I do here is, first I will draw this graph 1 over x. So this is the graph 1 over x. Okay, so let me show you what happened since I have not covered the lecture yet. Okay, so I have not covered in the lecture yet, so let me use this one to show you. Okay, now first I actually draw this graph 1 over x. Okay, so this is the graph 1 over x. You can see it's here, 1 over x. Can you see the page color graph? Okay. Now, after that, okay, what happened is, now, this graph, when I plus 2, it shifted up for 2 units. Okay, when I plus 2, plus 2, the graph actually moved up for 2 units. Okay, from here, the graph moved up for 2 units. Okay, like this, then move up for 2 units. Let me draw here. Okay, so the graph moved up for 2 units. You can see here this line move up 2 units. This is the asymptote. The asymptote also move up 2 units. Is that okay, student? Can you see here? Okay, the graph 1 over x move up for 2 units. Okay, now we are going to describe this one, all right, in the lecture in detail. So now for this part, so the question, the third one, I will say this graph 1 over x plus, when we plus 2, we move the graph up for 2 units. So we say fx shifted up for 2 units. Then I will explain the vertical asymptote, right? X equals to 0. And the horizontal asymptote is, okay, this is a mistake. It's supposed to be, what is the horizontal asymptote supposed to be?
Y equal to 2.
Very good. Okay. Yes. Now I type in the chat box. It's supposed to be y equals to 2. Okay, so this is actually a mistake. Okay, I will change it later. Okay, so the horizontal asymptote is the yellow color dotted line, y equals to 2. Okay, so this is the example, all right, on how to sketch the graph. And also how to answer the assignment question. Now, what are we going to do today? So today I'm going to give you the feedback on the graph you show me. Okay, so many of you actually you sketch the graph and you show me. So I'm going to give you some feedback, and after that we are going to discuss how you need to modify your graph. You need to modify your graph so then you know what to do. Okay, now the first one is, okay, 1 over x. Okay, sorry, the first one is square root of x. Okay, now you can see here, this is the graph you shaped. For the beginner, you have done a very good job. All right, for the beginner, you have actually done a very good job. So I want to give you some feedback on the graph here. Okay, now, so when you do the assignment, okay, when you do the assignment, now this one, you have to type using the equation 2. Okay, you need to type this one. This you cannot give the title like this. You have to show the equation in a proper way. Okay, so you have to write in this way. Is that okay? Okay, student, are you clear with my explanation here? Because I'm worried that after I explain to you here, when you do the assignment, okay, you will actually repeat the same thing again. Is that clear to you? Can you give me some reply, whether you type or you answer verbally? Okay, student, are you okay with it? Okay, all right, good, thank you. So now this is the first part. Now the second part here, now you can see here, this one is not very smooth. So you need to move it you need to make it smooth. Okay, especially this part. Okay, this part is not very smooth. You need to make it smoother. All right, the graph, you need to make it smooth. Now, how to make it smooth? See here. Okay, so I have my graph here. This is my graph. Now, since I want to make this one smooth, okay, previously what I do is I just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, for example. Now you can see here, this part is not very smooth, right? Okay, this part is not very smooth here. So I want to make it smooth. So I will have to modify this part, this area, between 0 to 2. I need to have more points. Okay, I need to have more points here so that this will be smoother. So what I will do is from 0 here, I'm going to make it more points. So I start with 0.1. So how about the second one? Now, this is what I do. I will take this one times 2. Okay, times 2. So after that, I repeat the same thing. Now, so you can see when I multiply by 2, so I will get the graph here. All right, it's become very smooth. Okay, this part, are you okay? Well, okay, any feedback? Anything you want to ask? Any feedback? Okay, no. Now, back to here. Now, remember I told you we have to use the equation. The equation is here. You go to insert. Okay, go to here. There is an equation here. You click this one. Okay, click this one. Okay, then you can use the equation to type. Now, you need to spend some time on this to familiar with this one. Okay, so make sure you need to learn how to type this one. So you can see actually the question, I just give you 4 questions for a group assignment. Okay, because I understand that you need to have some time to do this. Okay, now, if you are okay with this, now let's continue with the feedback here. Okay, now after that, okay, what we supposed to do is, now, for this graph here, now we know that for graph, this part, we need to have the y-axis, and here we need to have x-axis. Okay, we need to have the x-axis and the y-axis here for a graph. So how do we actually sketch this one? Okay, now I'm going to explain how to actually put the arrow here and put the x and the y here. Okay, now back to here. Now you can see here, I don't have the line here, so I'm going to double click here. Okay, so when I double click here, you will see there is a so-called a panel, okay, coming out from here, called format axis. So, okay, okay, now I need to go to this part, axis option, this one, axis option. So I will go to this one, begin arrow type. Okay, I will select this one. Okay, I repeat, go to begin arrow type, I select this one. So, and the color, I'm going to put it black. Now, so can you see here, I will have the, now I have the arrow here. Okay, any questions, student? Any question? Okay, yeah. All right, now, then how about this one? We're supposed to have the arrow here as well. So go to the next one, and arrow type. I choose this. So I will have one arrow here. Okay, now I understand that for the graph, sometimes we just have this one, we don't have this, right? So you can put this one as a straight line, it's okay. Okay, but if you put it as two double head arrow, you have one arrow on top and another arrow at the bottom, that should be fine. Okay, but if you don't want, you just want to put like this, should be fine. Okay, any questions? Okay, now, so let's talk about some other function. Now, let's say if this one is a asymptote, if this is asymptote, you want to put different color, you can choose a different color to indicate that this is the asymptote. All right, you can also put the dotted line. Okay, you can put the dotted line. You can make the line thicker. Okay, so all under here, axis option. Okay, you can actually, all right, draw dotted line or a solid line, and then you can choose the arrow. Now, this is for us to draw the asymptote. Let's say the asymptote is here, so you can draw. So remember, like in my graph here, okay, I draw the asymptote. Okay, how do I draw this asymptote here? I actually okay, I put a dotted line, okay, to draw the asymptote, okay, together with the y-axis. Okay. Right, now, so this one I change back to the black color. Okay, this one should be 7. Okay, I put 1 now. Okay, so this is my x-axis. The line should be a solid line. What happened? It cannot change back to solid line. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Now, after that, how can okay, I supposed to have a label y here, right? How do I label the y? How do I label the y? I used, okay, insert text box. If you have some other way, you can use that also. Okay, I can't think of some other way, so I'm going to use the text box. I insert the y. Okay, put it here. Okay, now I don't want the box. I do not want the box, so I'm going to, okay, use this one. The outline, I make it no outline. Okay, so when I put it no outline, then I will just have the y only. Okay, and then also I'm going to make it okay, I'm going to make it no fill as well. Okay, so that no fill, no outline, so that I can actually move it closer to the y-axis. Okay. Now, any question here, student? You can actually start doing yours one now, because this hour is mostly hands-on. Hands-on means that you do at the same time, so that you have question to ask. Okay, so now I have this one. Okay, so and this line. Okay, now come back to our this one. So y-axis, you can do the x-axis as well. Okay, now what else? Now this part, I want you to take note. Now, okay, student, take note, take note. Now, we cannot end our graph here. Okay, do you know why? Because if we end our graph here, it means that the x-axis is only from 0 to 10. Okay, because this last point here is 10. Do you get what I mean, student? We cannot end the point here, because if we end the point here, it means that for our graph, the domain is from 0 to 10 only. Is that okay? So what should we do, student? If we cannot end our point here, what should we do? Any idea, student? Okay, Jason?
What
should we do? We cannot
continue the line until the edge of the graph.
Very good. You can continue here. You extend. How to extend? You extend your point until here. Okay. Or another way is you cut the line here. This one, this x-axis, you cut it here. Okay, I'm going to show you how to cut it here. So now you can see here, my graph here also, the point end here. Okay, now suppose if I extend another point, it will actually more than this, but you try to see what happened. If I extend another point here, okay, my graph here, I extend another point. Okay, so I click the graph, I extend this one. Okay, so it will be like this. Okay, so just nice. Okay, go to the end. Or, okay, this is one way of doing it. Another one is I can actually limit the exits. Now, I'm going to use it here. I'm going to limit the exits. Okay, I'm going to bring, this is until 6, right? So I'm going to bring it to 4, for example. So what I do is I will click on the y-axis, this one. Okay, when I click on the y-axis here, now you can see here, I have the minimum point and the maximum point, right? Okay, so the minimum point is 6. Okay, sorry, maximum point is 6, which is this one. This is the 6. right, the maximum point. Now I want to bring it down to 4 so that, all right, I will actually cover the line. So I bring it 4. Okay. So when I click this one, now you can see now, okay, I'll bring it down to 4 so the graph will be just nice. Okay. Okay, student, do you have any question about this thing? Are you with me, student? Are you with me? Okay. Any question? No, huh? All right, good. Okay, now, also, you can see here for this one, okay, we can see here, this point, this first point here is just, okay, we have no space to show the y-axis and the x-axis, right? Now, actually, we need to extend a bit to show the y-axis and the x-axis. So how to do this to show the x-axis and the y-axis a bit here? Same thing, all right? Now, just like my one here, I'm going to click this. Okay, you can see, okay, if I put it 0, okay, you can see my graph is just here, right? 0 is here, so we cannot see the x-axis. Okay, because starting from 0 here. So I need some space here to show the x-axis. So this is what I do. I will, okay, click here again. I will actually use this one as -1. So when I click this one as -1, you can see here. Now, so it will be -1 here. So there we can actually see there is some room here and the graph starting from here. All right, this same thing goes to the x-axis. So I will put here starting from -2. Okay, you see if I put 0, okay, it will actually just start here. So it's very difficult for us to see the graph. So better we put it -1 or -2 so that we have some space here. Okay, any question? Okay, yeah? All right. So next one. Okay, after we have talked about, all right, this one, basically that's all. Okay, basically that's all. Now, in case you have x-intercept or y-intercept, okay, you need to label the point. You can actually use this one, insert text box here. Okay, you can actually use the insert text box. This one, okay, to label the point. Okay, in case there is the x-intercept or y-intercept. Okay, now before we proceed, do you have anything to ask? Okay, so again, this one, I will just complete the okay, I will just complete the y-axis. And this point, I can just copy, paste. Okay. Copy, and so I'll bring it here. And label. Okay, so this will be the graph. Okay, now before I proceed, do you have anything to ask here? Okay, student, are you okay? Christina, are you okay with it? Okay, all right, yeah. How about Jianzhou? Okay, yeah. Jianzhou, okay. No. Okay, yeah. All right, good. Now, so let me give you the feedback. All right, from here. Now, when I give you feedback, I hope that we discuss it with an open heart, right? So because the feedback is for your improvement. Okay, so now, okay, so for this one, so again, what we need is we need to have the okay, so we need the x-axis and the y-axis. Okay, y-axis, we need the x-axis. Label the x, label the y. So this graph, you need smoother. So maybe you add more points. So, and then remember the graph you should hit here and hit here. Okay, this one as well. Hit the end, and this one you have to hit the end. Okay, and for this part, you have y equals to 1 over x using the equation. Okay. Okay, anything you want to ask about this graph? Okay, where can I find the file for the assignment course? I didn't see it on Moodle. Okay, now the file, let me show you the Moodle. Okay, so this is the Moodle. Okay, now after we have the week 1, week 2, all these are for announcement. Week 1, week 2. Anyone talking here? Gentle, I think your mic is on, Gentle.
Oh, sorry, sir.
It's okay. Now, after all this week announcement here, okay, I got one extra here. Okay, we have quizzes and assignment, right? It's here. This one. You click this. Oh, sorry, I didn't attach the file inside. Okay, I will attach the file inside here. It's supposed to be on. It's supposed to be here actually. Okay. Okay. Thank you for your. Yeah. Okay. So I forget to attach. Sorry. I will actually attach it together after this. Okay. So I will put it here lah. Okay. You will find the file is somewhere here. Okay. When you click inside. Okay. So Lazada is here. Okay. So okay. So this is about the graph for 1 over x. All right. So now, okay. Now for this modulus x, okay, you can see here, okay, this part this graph is supposed to be a straight line. Okay, now let me show you. Now you can, if you are not familiar or if you are not very sure what is the shape of the graph or how does the graph look like, you can always go to this one, Desmos calculator, and you can sketch the graph. Graph actually look like this. It's supposed to be a straight line. Okay, 2 straight line. Okay, why? Because actually the original graph is y equals to x. Now, however, when we modulus it, okay, when we modulus, the negative part become the positive. This negative part become positive. So it's this part reflected up become positive. Okay, so then we have something like this, a V shape. Okay, now how do we sketch this one? Back to here. to sketch this one, we actually use the point here. Okay, we use the graph here. Now, okay, student, I want you to take note to sketch this one. The graph you have to use, okay, you cannot use this one. Okay, if you use this one, you can see here, if you use this one, now can you see the line now become, okay, it actually become a curve, it bend here. So we cannot use the curve, we have to use the straight line. Okay, use the straight line, right? So that it will be a straight line. Is that okay? Any question here, student? Any question about this one? Okay, now, so I think you're very smart lah. You actually get the idea. So now, and then the next one, okay, of course, this one is very smooth. Okay, just to extend X and the Y. Okay, this is smooth. All right, this is smooth. Okay, I just want to highlight the work you do is actually very good for a beginner. So I just want to tell you how to refine it, make it better. Okay, when you submit your assignment, okay, it has to be something like this. Okay, the graph has to be very fine. Okay, take note, the graph for the group assignment, you have to do it using the Microsoft Excel and the Microsoft Word. You cannot send me hand draft. Means that you use hand, you draft, you sketch, and then you write the report. No, you have to use the Microsoft Word because this is part of the training. Okay, we want to train you how to be digital literacy. Means that you need to know how to use the computer for a project related to mathematics. Okay, that is part of the training. We want to train you that. Okay. All right, so okay, basically this is what I want to discuss with you today. All right, perhaps we see one more sample. Okay, so actually this is not a graph. All right, square root of x, the graph is not like this. It's supposed to be the square root. Okay, so for this one, we need to extend, make the graph smoother, extend. All right, the graph up and down. Okay, and then x-axis, y-axis. Okay, so basically this is okay what you need to take note. Okay, let me show you one more example. Okay, now for this example, okay, the first one I think should be quite okay. Now for question B, 1 over x. Okay, can you tell me what we need to do here? Joshua. Joshua?
Yes, teacher.
It's just a discussion. Now for question B, 1 over x, can you tell me what we should do here? These two actually should be one graph, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to combine these two into one graph. And okay, how does the graph look like?
The graph, the both line don't touch the y-axis and the x-axis. It's
Okay.
like
Good. Okay, thank you. Now the graph should be look like this. Okay, so actually for this assignment, okay, it has separate into two graphs. We need to make it one graph like this. Okay, then of course we need to extend this point, extend here. Okay, now how to extend? You can actually just extend the point here. Okay, from here we just extend a bit, maybe. Okay, so and from here we can actually just extend a bit. Okay. Yeah. Supposed to be like this. Okay. So this point we cancel. Okay, we take this one. Okay. Divided by 2. Make it smaller. Okay, I think this is too much. Okay, maybe we can stop here. Okay, so you adjust a bit lah, huh? Right, for your case. Okay, adjust a bit so that, okay, we have a smoother graph. Okay, so this is nice. So extend the graph. Okay, now this one we have to make it smoother. So you need to add the points, okay, to make it smooth. All right, so as I mentioned earlier, okay, if you are not sure what does the graph look like, you can actually use this one to help you. Okay, so y equals to x to the power of 3. Okay, the graph's supposed to be like this. Okay, student. All right, so if the graph's supposed to be like this, okay, so you try to sketch the graph that close to this one. Okay, this one. Add more points so that it looks like this. Okay, right. Now, I think that's all I want to discuss today. Okay, one more. This one. Now, can you tell me how do we improve this one? Carmen, can you give some input how to improve this one?
Yes, teacher.
How to now? Can you give some input how to improve this one? How to improve this graph?
Maybe add some points at the x-axis or y-axis.
Okay. Now, actually, the graph it's not stopped here. The graph actually will be like this. Okay. So we need this part. We need this part to show the graph. So you have to add some point between 0 and 1. Okay. Between 0 and 1, we need to add the points so that it becomes like this. Okay. So let me show you the real graph of this. The real graph is something like this. Okay, this is the real graph. The real graph is something like this. Okay. Okay, the graph of ln x. Okay. All right, any questions you want to ask, student? All right, if not, I think this is what I want to discuss with you so that you can actually modify your graph. Okay, now after you modify your graph, okay, now do you know how to see the domain and range? Okay, what is the domain for this one? What is the domain? Okay, the x can be any value, right? So we say the domain. The x can be any value. The x is real. Okay. Now the x is real. How about the range? Okay, Ziyu, how about the range here? For y, it can be any value, but
Bigger than 0.
good, very good. So we say the y is real number, y is more than or equals to 0. Okay, it can be 0, but it must be more than or equals to 0. Okay. All right. Now again, in case you don't know what is the domain and the range, what you need to do is you from the graph you draw a line to the x-axis. Okay, then you will know what is the domain. Okay, now from here, if I draw the line, I can see all the x cover. So I will say the x is real. But if I draw the line to y-axis, okay, I draw the line to y-axis, I can see I only have the positive part. The negative part, no value. So therefore, the y is positive, all right, and 0. This is the range. Okay, right. So, okay, before we dismiss, anything you want to ask?